Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, China escalates its action against 2 detained Canadians.
We need a strong reaction from the federal government.
Plus, what John Bolton says about Canada's arrest of Meng Wanzhou.
It just shows a blatant disregard for what people want.
A Juneteenth like no other. Susan Ormiston is in Tulsa, Oklahoma on the eve of a Trump campaign rally.
Once it hits one, all bets are off.
New COVID-19 cases put a big bump in the road for the return of professional sports. And breaking down barriers.
The representation of queer women has not been great over the years.
Why a new video game might be a game changer. This is The National. Canada's already dismal relationship with China has hit a new low. 2 Canadians already long detained have now been charged as spies. Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig have been held by China for 18 months. Both were detained shortly after Canada arrested powerful Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou at the request of the United States. Tonight we've got new allegations about what happened behind the scenes and about those 2 Canadians. Their arrests and that of Meng Wanzhou share complicated politics, but their detentions and the conditions they face couldn't be more different. Catherine Cullen explains.
Bad news for Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig. Already months without contact with Canadian officials. Now both are charged with spying.
I was heartbroken and I was really angry.
Canada continues to insist getting them freed is a top priority.
We will not rest until they are able to come home.
Their detention widely seen as retaliation after Canada arrested a Chinese telecom executive to face charges in the United States. Meng Wanzhou recently lost an attempt to stop her extradition, but she's still out on bail with 2 mansions to live in. Compare that to conditions in Spavor's prison, described by a Canadian once detained there.
14 people in my cell, lights on 24/7. Guards. Food comes through the door in into a bucket, and you just eat from that. Never left the cell except for consular visits, which unfortunately they're not having right now.
In the Chinese system, a conviction is nearly guaranteed, and officials won't say if the men might face life sentences or even death.
I don't answer hypothetical questions.
China has shown it's ready to do more than just detain Canadians, at one point blocking beef, pork, and canola exports. Still, the Prime Minister says Canada continues to push directly with China and with the help of other countries.
On top of the public positioning that we're always very firm on, there is also plenty of action behind the scenes in very direct and firm ways.
Not firm enough, some say.
We need a strong reaction from the federal government. The soft diplomatic talks has produced nothing. We have just done the bidding of China.
Kovrig's employer said today that his arrest was purely political, and that means politics is the only way to get him released. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.
Kovrig and Spavor's treatment may be payback for Canada's arrest of Meng Wanzhou. In his book, former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton says one influential voice tried to persuade Trudeau to keep Canada out. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, ever a friend of the U.S., was arguing that Canada should simply not abide by our extradition treaty, Bolton writes. He adds that Trump administration officials urged Canada to stand firm, stressing we would support them every way we could, including directly raising with China the mistreatment of Canadian citizens. Neither the Prime Minister's office, Mr. Chrétien, nor the White House have commented. Let's get some more context from Janice Stein of the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. And what stood out for you from John Bolton?
And if, in fact, his account is correct, and that's a big if, it changes our understanding. We have been told this was a Department of Justice to Department of Justice story, police to police, clearly encased in a rule of law framework. What Bolton's story suggests is there was high-level discussion between the president's officials and the prime minister's people. That suggests there was a political overlay to the story, although clearly there's no evidence that the prime minister intervened in any way in these legal processes.
And there's a quote in this book that really intrigues you.
Yeah, one other quote jumped out at me where Bolton says that they had reassured Canadian officials that they would raise with China directly the mistreatment of Canadian citizens. We know, Ian, that the Prime Minister asked the President to do that and to do it firmly before he concluded his trade agreement with China. We have absolutely no evidence that the President kept his word.
Janice Stein, thank you.
So welcome.
John Bolton's new book also delves into the Trump-Trudeau relationship. The two leaders haven't always seen eye to eye, but according to Bolton, Trump dislikes the Prime Minister. Salima Shivji explains.
It was U.S. President Donald Trump's first official trip to Canada. The G7 in Quebec 2 years ago. Behind those uneasy smiles, the talks were strained. This we already knew, but John Bolton's tell-all book is a peek into just how tense they really were. This table was far from amicable, Bolton says. Trump didn't really like either Macron or Trudeau, but he tolerated them, mockingly crossing swords with them in meetings, kidding on the straight. They responded in kind, Bolton goes on, playing along to not be in a permanent tiff with the U.S. president. But then this infamous struggle to get everyone on board to sign off on the final communique took over. Trump's chief of staff even walked out saying this is a disaster. The leaders eventually agreed, but then...
As Canadians, we're polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around.
That set Trump off, Bolton says, pulling out of the communique. Behind the scenes, the book says Trump threw a fit, infuriated. Just go after Trudeau, don't knock the others. Trudeau's a behind-your-back guy. The order was sent.
He really kind of stabbed us in the back.
There's a special place in hell for any foreign leader that engages in bad faith diplomacy with President Donald J. Trump.
2 years on, Bolton's former colleagues are dismissive of the book.
My view is it's the Washington swamps equivalent of revenge porn.
The excerpts that I've seen have been factually false. And it's very likely or possible that the stuff that we've not seen is classified.
Neither the Prime Minister's office nor the White House have said anything about Bolton's take on the Trump-Trudeau relationship. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Ottawa.
Let's turn now to the COVID crisis. We're now 101 days into this pandemic. Though Ontario and Quebec are still the hardest hit provinces, both reported fewer than 200 new infections today. But south of the border, the trend in some states is concerning. There were more than 23,000 new known cases across the United States today, including in Florida, which reported nearly 4,000 new cases. Experts worrying it could become the next U.S. hotspot. And nowhere is that more evident tonight than when it comes to pro sports. Players and teams training in Florida have been hit with a wave of infections. The NHL admits to 11 in 11 days, and that's just hockey, raising questions about whether a return to play is up in the air. Cameron McIntosh takes a look.
For the NHL, this could be a real setback. Toronto Maple Leafs star Austin Matthews reportedly testing positive for COVID-19 at his home in Arizona. The same day, the Tampa Bay Lightning shut down their practice facility, confirming 3 players and some staff tested positive. It's not just hockey. Today, the Toronto Blue Jays shut down their Florida training facility, confirming a positive test. It's near the Philadelphia Phillies preseason home, where 5 of their players have just tested positive. And in golf, which is playing, Nick Watney withdrew from the RBC Heritage in South Carolina today, citing a positive test.
Once it hits one, all bets are off.
Sports economist Moshe Lander has been following COVID closely. He says this may be the moment to rethink restarting.
It was always a long shot and an act of optimism that any sports were coming back in 2020.
In Tampa Bay and other NHL cities, players are starting to prepare for a restart that would see teams isolated in 2 yet-to-be-named hub cities. Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton are on the short list. Alberta's top doctor says it's viable if quarantine rules are followed.
I believe that the protocols that we have in place would effectively prevent transmission.
Earlier today, the federal government said it's okay with the idea, but
these things have to be reviewed all the time because even the activity of COVID-19 is changing as we speak in Canada, but also in other areas of the United States.
Like Florida. In the end, Lander suspects it just won't be practical.
The fact is that this crisis is what this crisis is, and you can't control it. So great that you tried, but just admit defeat at this point.
For now, the NHL is sticking with its previously stated plan to officially open up training camps on July 10th and restart the season sometime later this summer. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Tonight, a clash of U.S. values is taking shape in Tulsa, Oklahoma, around the anniversary called Juneteenth. On this date, 155 years ago, the last African-American slaves were freed. As Susan Ormiston shows us, it's Tulsa's own history that makes it such a charged battleground.
Black Wall Street in Tulsa. Street art reminds people of a once thriving black neighborhood and an historic trauma.
Some people would argue that the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre was a deliberate attempt to either obliterate or eviscerate the black community.
Decades after slavery was abolished, black businesses in Greenwood were burned and looted by a white mob. At least 300 people were killed. And only recently, a few memorials to the violent past.
We live with that trauma in part because we have chosen deliberately to ignore it, to pretend like it didn't exist.
Juneteenth is a celebration, but it also reminds citizens of that wound, making it a particularly bad time and place for Donald Trump to relaunch his campaign across town tomorrow. The historic Vernon AME Church, burned in 1921, was rebuilt. Its current pastor furious with Trump's plan.
When the president announced he was coming, that really was baffling on one hand and disgusting on the other. I mean, it just shows a blatant disregard for what people want and does what he wants to do.
Greenwood is now part of urban renewal. Some still call it black removal. But in one way, Trump's visit has raised its profile.
The attention of Juneteenth, Black Wall Street, all of that into one. The attention is coming to this community in all aspects. So that's a positive thing that will help amplify what's going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Never listen up, P. And the mural has become a backdrop for racial conversation, what its designer had always hoped.
They'll get the photo, they'll take the selfie. While they're here, they're becoming a little bit more educated on the race massacre.
Reverend Al Sharpton, keeping the momentum going here tonight. The message, demonstrations and protests have caught the world's attention, but there will be little change if people don't vote. And across town, Republicans are lined up, fired up to relaunch Donald Trump's re-election campaign, even over objections of health experts worried about COVID spread. So tomorrow night, tens of thousands will crowd into an indoor hall with the president intent on carrying on. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa is a flashpoint, but beyond Oklahoma, many people mark Juneteenth, some saying they're not truly free.
We are slaves to the system. The system is found by the U.S. government. I, as a black man, and all black people, we have options based off obedience.
That was part of a protest in the Capitol. Large crowds also gathering in New York, some of them streaming across the Brooklyn Bridge. Canadians also took up the call to mark this anniversary of a U.S. milestone. The rising anger over systemic racism has swept across our border. Joanna Emiliotis hears from protesters in two cities.
The crowds stretched for blocks, the reprimands at times silent, at moments raging.
No justice, no peace.
Juneteenth marks the end of slavery in the United States, but this is about an era of reckoning too, much of it here directed at police. Sol Sanchez says she came to protest police brutality against black and indigenous people.
I think it is time for the abolishment of the police system. I think that we need new
We need new regulations in place. We need people that are going to be able to rightfully advocate for us and help us in the way that we need, instead of shooting us down like dogs.
The calls to move away from policing to community building. And while the protests aren't new ones, there is empowerment in speaking their truth. Marvin Murphy says the time to act was then and is now.
I think for Canada to take it, the problem more seriously, to not be too afraid to walk on eggshells in terms of addressing and calling out racism, systemic racism, police brutality.
Racism, both blatant and subtle, has turned an unforgiving spotlight on the complicity of silence.
I live in Toronto, and so I believe that people in Toronto deserve to be safe, and it's my role as a white person, too, to be standing up and using my privilege and using my voice.
Do you love us?
A march in unity was held in Vancouver, too. This is the city's first large-scale event commemorating Juneteenth. Freedom from modern-day bondage, people here say, is everyone's responsibility.
In our eyes and based on our experience, slavery has not ended. Physically may have, but mentally and systemically it has not ended.
In Toronto, this moment lasted hours, a pivotal one, many say, where a dark history intersects with a renewed call to action. Joanna Rimiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
As you may have heard, Ontario Liberal MP Marwin Tabera is facing assault and criminal harassment charges. Today, his case was adjourned until August, but CBC News has learned about a different set of allegations against Tabera. As Ashley Burke tells us, those accusations are of sexual harassment investigated by his own party.
We're a feminist government.
A feminist government that allowed Marwin Tabera to run for re-election last year, despite the fact that he had faced allegations of sexual harassment.
It is being investigated very carefully by us now.
A source tells CBC News that allegations of misconduct were reported to senior decision makers in the Liberal Party, multiple times dating back to the 2015 election campaign, but only recently investigated. The claims involved Tabera making lewd comments and inappropriately touching a female staffer. The party's investigation found some of the allegations were substantiated. That may have played into why it took more than 6 months before the Liberals approved Tabera to run in the 2019 election.
We've always taken very serious any allegations.
The Prime Minister has had a zero-tolerance policy in the past when it comes to claims of misconduct. Today he was asked if he knew about Tabera's case.
Whenever there are allegations against members of the Liberal Party, part of the process is for the leader to be informed. At the same time, the process that kicks in is a rigorous process.
Trudeau wouldn't say if Tabera faced consequences through that process or even confirm if there was an investigation.
I will also need to respect the confidentiality of everyone involved in this case and cannot comment further.
That confidentiality also protects the Liberals from answering more questions. As for Tabera, his office says it has no comment. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Among the other stories we're following tonight, British Columbia is investigating allegations of a racist game played by some ER staff in the province.
If true, it is intolerable, unacceptable, and racist.
Allegedly called Price is Right, the game involved healthcare staff attempting to guess the blood alcohol level of mainly Indigenous patients without going over, much like the popular game show. The BC Assembly of First Nations is calling for anyone who took part to be identified. The Canadian Museum of Human Rights issuing an apology today for hiding gay exhibits on tours at the request of certain groups. The museum's executive team now says that was wrong and ran contrary to everything it stands for. A review of the practice is being included as part of the external investigation looking into complaints of racism and other forms of discrimination at the museum. A man in his 30s was killed after gunfire erupted in Toronto's West End today. Police say the shooting did appear to be targeted.
One shooter was lying in wait on a side street, and when our victim got into his vehicle, the suspect shooter shot several rounds at our victim.
Police are now searching for 2 possible suspects in this security video. They're believed to have fled the area in a 4-door sedan. A memorial has been set up tonight at the site of a deadly crash in Brampton, Ontario that killed a mother and her 3 daughters. The city's mayor is demanding action against the driver who hit them. Filling in some of the details, a police watchdog says it can't reveal. Jacqueline Hansen has the story.
The memory of Carolina Chisulo, a 4th grade teacher, held closely by a former student.
I made her a letter saying that I would always remember her.
Chisulo's 3 daughters mourned even by strangers.
As a parent, you can understand what it means to lose your children.
Yesterday, the family's van was crushed and their injuries too severe.
Where's the guy with the blue car?
He's in the middle there.
A blue Infiniti hit the Chisulos, but police can't say what happened before that because the SIU is investigating police involvement. It says an officer saw the blue Infiniti driving by before the crash.
What happened once the officer observed the vehicle, what actions were taken, including whether there were lights and sirens, speeds, all of those things would constitute our investigation.
The local mayor isn't satisfied with the silence.
That cloak of secrecy is something that I'm disappointed by.
So he's filling in the blanks with what he was briefed.
A police officer ran the plates, found out that the plates did not even belong to the car, and that's a big red flag. This individual, who had a suspended license, seemed to show no regard for the police or for human life, because when you speed away from a police officer, this is what can happen.
The mayor says this video shared widely online shows the same blue car driving erratically and people trying to stop it. The Ontario Provincial Police hasn't confirmed a connection, but it says it has known about the video since Tuesday. Many in the community are worried that was a missed opportunity as they struggle to piece together how this could happen. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
Toronto airport officials are investigating a gruesome discovery aboard a flight from Ukraine. As Dave Steglins tells us, more than 500 puppies were on board, dozens of them dead. And so a warning, some of the images in this story may be difficult to watch.
It started here, the cargo area at Ukraine's main airport. Witnesses videotaped dozens of dog crates filled with young French bulldog puppies being loaded bound for Canada. The temperature in the 30s, awaiting a 12-hour flight to Toronto. But on arrival, Canadian officials scrambled, according to this witness.
Speaking with people there and the cargo staff, that there was 572 animals on this flight from the Ukraine.
Airport staff were in shock at what they found. One worker, she says, has shared an image of some of the victims of the flight. Canada's Food Inspection Agency oversees animal imports and confirms they are investigating. Indeed, approximately 500 puppies landed at Pearson International Airport. On inspection, their statement says it was found 38 were dead, while others were sick and suffering.
Everybody was just panicking at the time because there was animals that arrived deceased. You know, you have over 300 plus crates with 572 animals on a flight that was loaded, you know, in the Ukraine at 33 degrees.
This is a puppy mill operation.
This animal welfare advocate says shady breeders in Ukraine and other parts of Eastern Europe are cashing in on demand from pet buyers in Canada and the U.S.
These commercial operations are run by large puppy mills who house and breed hundreds and thousands of dogs every year.
French bulldogs are popular. They sell online for thousands of dollars to pet lovers who may have no idea where the animals actually come from. Professor Scott Weiss is working with government officials to stop the diseases and problems that come with the mass importation of puppies.
The public health agency is looking at trying to get a better handle on numbers. We really have no idea what the scope of the issue is. We have no idea how many dogs come in.
Canadian officials are trying to figure out whether any laws were broken. Ukrainian International Airlines declined to answer questions, but says it is cooperating with the investigation. Dave Seglin, CBC News, Toronto.
After battling COVID-19 and lockdown restrictions, Prince Charles has found a new way to be seen.
He is being really personable and, you know, really hitting home with content that people can resonate with.
Up next on The National, how the Prince has become the king of Instagram. plus 100 days of a global pandemic.
Right now, I think people are still largely following the rules, and if they are congregating, they're doing it outside. They're not going to be doing that outside in October.
What you need to know about the next 100. And later, learning in isolation. One teen's testimony about going to school during COVID-19. We're back in 2. During COVID-19, many have compensated for social distancing by embracing social media, creating some unlikely stars. Would you ever have guessed Prince Charles would be one of them? As Renee Filipponi shows us, 2020 is full of royal surprises.
Emerging from months of lockdown, Prince Charles marks a Second World War anniversary. Joined by the French president while trying to stay 2 meters apart. The future king, who battled COVID-19, has had a busy week that started with giving thanks to frontline workers.
It's been a marvellous opportunity just to have a chance of seeing people who I know have been doing so much.
And he isn't alone in venturing out as the UK starts to open back up. For months, the royal family have traded in handshakes for hashtags, and they've been getting lots of likes. Prince Charles' social media posts got personal and in turn popular, sharing messages of support.
Recent times have been incredibly difficult for us all.
And giving commoners a glimpse of life as a royal.
One little duck, number 2.
And while younger royals have been capitalizing on social media for years, this marketing consultant is impressed by how Charles has embraced it.
I think it's just that he is being really personable and, you know, really hitting home with content that people can resonate with.
Even the Queen jumped on Zoom amid concerns COVID could end her public appearances for good. At 94, she's vulnerable to the virus.
There's no need necessarily to start bandying around words like Prince Regency and abdication.
This royal correspondent says the Queen will be back, but it's unclear when.
Royal walkabouts, for instance, are quite a way off, as are any mass gatherings. But I think rumours that she is not going to return to public life are overstated. She's still carrying on working in the only way that she can at the moment.
That includes foregoing the normal crowds but staying visible by letting the cameras in. As the monarch sticks to her motto that the royal family must be seen to be believed. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, London.
When we come back, understanding 100 days of the global pandemic.
It's far more deadly than your average seasonal flu.
In terms of transmission, this was a beast.
The lessons from the first wave as we prepare for a second. We put your questions to one of our medical experts. Next. In the first 3 months of this pandemic, there have been 8.5 million infections around the world, 100,000 here in Canada, and too many deaths. Life as we know it has changed, and it's not clear for how long. Christine Birak looks back at the past 100 days and what lies ahead.
In the days following March 11th, the unthinkable became reality. Countries clashing over protective gear, confusion, and calls for more testing. 100 days into this pandemic, many are safe for the moment, but some have lost more than they ever imagined.
Well, in the beginning, I didn't think it was as serious as it was. I just thought, okay, it's going to be another flu.
Debbie Upshaw's mother raised 6 children, fed 100 kids a day at her church for over 30 years. She died from COVID-19 at a long-term care home.
I listened to her for 3 days, gasping for air and for breath.
Disease experts say they too underestimated this virus.
And it's far more deadly than your average seasonal flu.
In terms of transmission, this was a beast.
An invisible beast that appears to spare children. Recent studies have shown kids are rarely becoming sick or infecting others. Most schools will reopen in September. And while most people don't want to start thinking about a second wave, experts insist it's coming.
This virus has really not shown any seasonality.
Hot weather hasn't stopped outbreaks in countries like Brazil. What has worked is physical distancing, but it's financially and psychologically draining. Most Canadians are safely interacting again, but seasons change.
Right now, I think people are still largely following the rules, and if they are congregating, they're doing it outside. They're not going to be doing that outside in October.
He also has concerns about ineffective vaccines.
I worry that, in particular, the United States will try to rush a vaccine to market before it's ready.
But the first 100 days have also brought out the good in people. Cooperation and care has saved lives, but the pandemic is far from over. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, let's look ahead now to the next 100 days of this pandemic. And infectious diseases specialist Dr. Isaac Bogosh is here to answer some of your questions. And Dr. Bogosh, here's one that's plucked from the headlines. Someone is wondering, how risky is it for a league like the NHL to hold playoffs in hub cities?
Yeah, I think a few considerations have to be met before a league like the NHL takes off in a hub city, but I certainly think it can be done, and I think it can be done safely. Firstly, the location has to be chosen, and certainly we'd want to pick a low burden area for the league to be placed in. The second thing is it's got to be safe, and for it to be safe, you really need buy-in from the public health officials. You have the green light from the federal, from the provincial or state, and from the municipal public health officials. And lastly, and also importantly, you need buy-in from the local community. Is the local community okay with a league using their city as the host city? And I think it's a completely doable process as long as you've gone through the right processes and as long as you've got the right permissions. I think it can be done safely, absolutely.
With the news today, I've been really curious about what would happen if, say, we were in the Stanley Cup final and a player or a couple of players tested positive from a team. Very hypothetical situation, I know, but from a medical perspective, how do you think we should handle something like that?
I think players should be treated the same way as every other citizen. And certainly if someone's tested positive, we want to make sure that they're healthy and well. We want to make sure that they have access to appropriate medical care if need be. And of course, we'd want them to be isolated to ensure that they are not transmitting this infection to other people. So while there might be a lot on the line in terms of a hockey game, there also are people's health that's on the line, and that's got to be addressed as well. And that's more important than anything else.
Let's go from one high-profile COVID situation to one that continues to get a lot of attention. Our next question is, should masks be mandatory when you go outside?
Yeah, obviously this is a very contentious subject, and people have obviously some strong opinions on this matter. If we really take a step back and we think about what are the public health guidelines right now, it's actually very clear. We're told that we should be, it's strongly recommended that we wear masks in areas where we can't practice physical distancing, especially indoor areas such as grocery stores or on public transportation. Pretty clear. Now, this issue about mandating masks is rather contentious, because if we mandate masks, we have to think about what that actually means. You know, are you going to not let someone on a bus or a subway because they don't have a mask? Well, that brings up equity issues. I mean, this is public transportation. It's for everybody. So if you're going to mandate them, you've got to give them out for free. The other issue comes up is enforcement. I mean, so let's say it's mandated. What are you going to do? Are you going to have bylaw officers writing fines and tickets for people? And on the one hand, it's easy to say, but that might be very hard to implement, especially when we take a step back and recognize that, you know, obviously Canada is a massive place. And we've heard about high burden areas such as in the GTA, which is actually getting under much better control now. But what if you're in Manitoba, where there's 7 active cases in the entire province, or in Thompson, Manitoba, where there's 0 cases? Are you going to mandate masking there? So there's a lot that really needs to be considered before that step's taken, I think.
Lots to be considered, as you say, and particularly, I think, regional differences. Sometimes we gloss over these things when we talk about COVID. Dr. Bogosh, always nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Anytime.
And we continue to ask your questions about COVID-19 on this program. Keep sending them in. You can message us directly on Instagram at CBC The National, or send us an email at covid@cbc.ca. The past few months have been agonizing for families with loved ones in care. We've heard from adult children barred from visiting elderly parents, but tonight, Ellen Morrow has the reverse story of parents desperate to see their son.
Pamela Librelesso has not seen her son since March. He's used to spending every weekend with his family. In the summer, that meant playing in the pool, his favorite thing.
Sorry.
Every day without him now takes a toll.
He would not have the ability to understand why everybody has disappeared and why his family no longer comes to see him.
Her son's care home is a house on a residential street. Only one other child lives inside, says the family, with staff rotating through.
I have not seen any evidence that we would be any more of a risk than the staff that are already going in and out.
But access inside is restricted to essential visitors only, defined by the province as someone necessary to maintain the health, wellness, and safety of a resident. That's up to homes to interpret, and the agency running Librelesso's facility is keeping his parents out, it says, for health and safety.
It's painful for the family caregivers because we know what we do.
Librelesso's son struggles with video calls, and she fears physically distanced outdoor visits.
It would be extremely distressing for him to see us in the flesh and not be able to come to us.
Librelesso has filed a complaint with Ontario's Human Rights Tribunal, saying Empower Simcoe could safely provide more access.
It's really difficult for us because we don't understand what he understands. We can only assume how stressful it must be on him.
The risk can be very safely lowered.
This professor says restrictions are causing more harm than good.
All they were doing is fearing the risk of viral transmission. They weren't thinking about the deadly risks of isolation.
For now, Librelesso is dreaming of the future.
He will climb on us, he will cuddle with us, and he will not leave. And that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
Still ahead on The National, talking about racism on a difficult anniversary.
Checking your privilege and talking about it, uncomfortable? Sure. But it has to be done.
Canadian Olympian Perdita Felicien on Juneteenth and the work that still needs to be done. And later, making a video game accessible. We'll show you how some developers are paving the way forward. Perdita Felicien has made this country proud. She's a two-time world champion hurdler, a two-time Olympian, and a Canadian champ 10 times over. But as issues of racial inequality are getting attention, she wants to give you her perspective as a Black woman and mother living in Canada.
I'm Perdita Felicien in Ajax. So it's Juneteenth, a day to honor the emancipation of enslaved Black people, a day that celebrates freedom. But I gotta be honest, when I look around at all the racial turmoil happening, I question just how far we've moved the needle on the subject of race in the last century and a half. It doesn't feel like much. As Canadians, we think we're better than Americans on this issue of racism. But here's what I know. Racism doesn't care about our borders. And here's another truth. This one I'm not so proud of. As a Black woman, I've questioned if racism is even something that we can beat. Is it even something that we can conquer? The conversations and protesting against police brutality and anti-Black and Indigenous racism is the loudest that has ever been in my lifetime. That gives me hope. I'm so proud of this young generation who is raging against this racial inequality. They're throwing flames at it and stones. They're demanding change and dismantling it with their fist held high and their signs of solidarity. So when I wonder if this can be fixed, I'll often zone in on my 1-year-old daughter and say, there's no way that I can let her. There's no way that you should let her and the next generation to come inherit this battle. People of color are not making this up out of thin air. It's real. And yeah, checking your privilege and talking about it, uncomfortable, sure. But it has to be done. That's the only way we end this and get rid of this stain forever. And so, as an athlete, did I believe I could win every race? No, not always. But this is a race I believe that we can win. It's a race I believe we have to win for the next generation, so that this isn't a thing anymore. This racial divide, I hope you're sick of it, because I am.
When we come back, changing the game.
Today, developers are listening that accessibility is becoming more important for those people who, regardless of quarantine, maybe don't leave their house very much.
How a new video game is improving diversity and accessibility on screen. A new video game set in a post-pandemic world is breaking barriers. It's called The Last of Us 2, and as Zuleika Nathu shows, it not only has a key LGBT character, it's also been made with some previously overlooked gamers in mind.
These are just some of the presets for vision accessibility, hearing accessibility, and motor accessibility.
Steve Saylor is demonstrating some of the more than 60 accessibility features for The Last of Us 2.
It also has a sound effect for rope, so I'll let you hear it again. And that let me know I can be able to climb up a rope.
The Toronto gamer is blind. He was a consultant for the highly anticipated PlayStation 4 game.
The bar was kind of here, like at a certain point for accessibility before, and the bar for The Last of Us Part 2 is way up here.
The charity Able Gamers calls it a milestone. It estimates there are millions of gamers with disabilities across the US and Canada.
Today, developers are listening that accessibility is becoming more important for those people who, regardless of quarantine, maybe don't leave their house very much. Maybe they can't go out and socialize, go to a concert, go out to a bar, to a club. Maybe video games are how they stay connected.
The Last of Us 2 follows Ellie in a post-apocalyptic world. She's one of the few immune to a fungus that has turned humans into zombies. The character is unique for another reason as well. She's openly gay.
Scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our kiss from last night?
It is extremely rare in video games. The representation of queer women has not been great over the years. As a queer woman myself, I'm very excited to see a character like Ellie.
The game is not without its critics. Some call it too bloody. And the storyline not that different from the first. But Saylor says the LGBTQ representation on screen and the accessibility for disabled players makes the game a game changer. Zuleika Nathu, CBC News, Los Angeles.
After the break, capturing a moment in time.
It's really been difficult not seeing my friends. I really miss being a teenager.
One student's message about the challenges of isolation. Next, in our moment. Malala Yousafzai has finished her final exams at Oxford University, and the 22-year-old human rights activist said it was hard to express her joy and her gratitude. Many other students are finishing their school year, and for most, it's all been done online. One Toronto student did her final project in a creative way by making a short film on what it's like to be a student during this quarantine. And that is our moment.
It was originally a school project given to me by my art teacher, Mr. Payne. I've already been making a lot of quarantine art. I wanted to do something related to quarantine, so I decided to settle on the idea of exploring how isolation can affect your mental health. That feeling, and like my movie, is a little bit more of a generalization of how we're all feeling.
Do like a burst and then I'll jump. I love being a teenager.
You're just alone in lockdown. You can't go anywhere, and you're just feeling alone and sad. You have nothing else to do, and you just feel numb. It's really been difficult not seeing my friends. I mean, I'm in grade 9, and I've finally found a good group of friends. It took me around 2 to 3 weeks to do the whole thing. I handed it in, Mr. Payne said that he was pretty impressed.
No kidding. I can't wait to see the kind of art that she's able to do as she gets older. I don't know if this is a generational thing or a me thing, but when I was her age, I think poster board and a collage made from magazines was probably the extent of my art at that point. Anyway, so much for me. That is the National for June 19th. Good night.